everybody, this is Some Random Neko, waking up from her nap to greet the world for the day. And by greet, I mean watch the original animated version of Lilo and Stitch because I refuse to watch live action remakes on principle. At least, not until they're streaming, because I don't want to shell out a full or discounted ticket price just to see my childhood get remade into something I don't recognize, which will rarely be good, mostly be bad, or sometimes be something I'll have mixed feelings about. Also, every new article about the live action version makes me more reluctant to watch it. I still will once it's streaming, but not until I've prepared myself enough for what is sure to be a wild time that won't be as fun as a Hawaiian roller coaster ride. Anyways, Lilo is an odd and lonely girl being raised by her struggling older sister Nani after their parents' deaths. One day, she adopts a strange dog she affectionately names Stitch. Stitch would be the perfect pet if he wasn't actually a genetically engineered experiment designed to cause chaos and destruction wherever he goes. He initially uses Lilo as a means to avoid recapture by the Galactic Federation, who would see him exiled to a desert asteroid. However, through Lilo's love, faith, and unwavering belief in Ohana, the Hawaiian concept of family, she unlocks Stitch's heart and gives him the chance to see that he can be more than what his destructive nature intended. Lilo and Stitch is hands down an amazing film, and no, that's not just the nostalgia talking. It's got a heartwarming story that's all about family, whether it be the one you were born into or the one you find, and the bonds that keep them together, especially during hard times. There's a good balance of humorous and serious moments, with neither overstaying its welcome or encroaching unnecessarily on the other, and the ending will always leave me emotional because it was just that powerful. There's also respect given to Hawaiian culture and history throughout the film, and even some commentary on tourism through small examples, such as Jamba and Pleakley's terrible disguises somehow allowing them to blend in. What really makes the film stand out, though, are the characters, who are given great nuance and depth. Lilo is an adorable weirdo who, like any kid, can be an absolute brat at times while surprisingly insightful at others. Nani is Lilo's older sister who's trying her best and has sacrificed much in her struggle to keep their family together. Then we have Stitch, who is mayhem incarnate and a destructive monster, but finds himself yearning for a family who will give him a place to belong. I really love how his character journey is tied to the story of the Ugly Duckling, and how, instead of using its message of not judging a book by its cover, it offers a different perspective in that the lost duckling finds his family, who accepts him for who he is, ugliness and all. I also really like how there's no true villain in the story, only people doing their jobs or trying the best they can in their given circumstances. Like how Cobra Bubbles tries to work with Nani, but ultimately has to do what's best for Lilo in the end. Or the councilwoman trying to capture Stitch to protect the galaxy, but still wanting to do good by everyone involved. Or Jamba, who's here to prove he is the most amazing evil genius ever, only to find himself fascinated in Stitch's growth and undergoing his own growth as well. Or even Gantu, who is the antagonist, but that's only because he's doing his job in the most efficient way possible. And I appreciate how all of this, the story and the characters, are tied together through the theme of Ohana, which means family, and in the film, family means no one gets left behind or forgotten. This is clearly shown in the bond shared between Lilo and Nani and Lilo and Stitch. With Lilo and Nani, Nani always makes sure Lilo never feels guilty for the sacrifices she has to make, while still giving room for Lilo to be her weird self. And Lilo tries her best to adjust and not cause trouble, but she understandably misses when her sister was just her sister and not her parent. I really love how the bond between them stays strong, even through their respective stress and frustrations, and how they'll always come back together, never letting their anger drive them apart. With Lilo and Stitch, Lilo practices the same care and patience Nani gives her, and Stitch slowly opens himself up to the family that Lilo offers. I love seeing how the two manage to balance out and mellow each other's chaotic energy and sand down the other's jagged edges. They're just two outsiders who chose the other as family, and will never forget there's always a place where they can belong beside each other. In regards to the production, Lilo and Stitch is a 2D hand-drawn animated film, and you can really tell the production team put a lot of care and passion into its creation, even doing things like traveling to Hawaii and recording Hawaiian dancers to make sure everything was as true to life as possible. The animation was great, with so much attention to every single detail on character movements, water-painted backgrounds, facial expressions, body language, action sequences, and more. Every detail had a purpose, and every detail came together to create a film that was full of life and personality. The character designs were also unique, especially the aliens, and they really nailed Stitch's design, as even years later, he's still merchandisable as a fluffy menace to society. The voice acting was also great and on point for every single character in the film, even the ones that only show up for a scene or two. From Stitch's odd and adorable alien babble, to Bubbles' deep but kind voice, to even Jumba's vaguely Russian-sounding accent, Every single voice fit the characters and brought them to life so well. The soundtrack is super memorable as well, with the original songs Hemele no Lilo and Hawaiian Roller Coaster Ride being standout hits that are still held dear by many even to this day. I especially love that Hemele no Lilo has lyrics that pay respect to Hawaiian culture, and Hawaiian Roller Coaster Ride adds a lot of meaning and emotion to the scene it's being played in. Also, side note about production, the PR for this film was actually pretty genius, as the teasers used classic Disney scenes and had Stitch disrupt them in his unique destructive way, giving both old and new generations something to latch onto. Plus, the fact that this film was made in secret was really fascinating. From what I've read, this was done because the filmmakers felt the Disney execs wouldn't be interested in it, so they kept the film under wraps for years until it was ready to be released. And boy oh boy am I glad Disney took a chance and rewarded Sanders and Du Bois for their audacity, because the world would have been a very different place if it didn't have Lilo and Stitch in it. However, despite how amazing Lilo and Stitch is and how much I love it, the film still has its flaws. The pacing, both story and character development wise, was very, very fast, which isn't surprising considering it's an hour and 25 minutes long, with 5 of those minutes used on credits. This made the film feel a little too tight at times, with some moments feeling abrupt in its delivery, like when Lilo beats up Myrtle or Stitch convinces Jumba to help him. The reason for why the characters do what they do still makes sense, but it takes a moment for that reason to register because it happens so quickly. At the very least, the film gives important moments enough room to breathe, so the impact can still be felt, even if everything else felt like it was moving too fast. And probably because of this fast pace, there were many small details I never noticed until it was pointed out to me, or I had time to really think about it. I honestly wish those details were given more time or attention, instead of just a passing mention or being subtly shown. Examples of this are Lilo's insistence on feeding Pudge the fish because he can control the weather, and Nani and Lilo walking everywhere instead of taking a vehicle, tying into how their parents died, and the awards in Nani's room showing that she was most likely on her way to becoming a pro surfer, but gave that up in order to keep Lilo. I know show don't tell is a great rule of thumb, but in this case, the show was almost too subtle for the average person to clock on the first go-around, and I would appreciate it if the film did a little more telling to make up for that, but that's just me. Also, I have a personal nitpick about Bubbles. Not him as a character since he's great, but how he showed up for the surfing scene that became the final straw. Like, how did he even know they were at the beach when the incident happened? Did he stalk Nani the entire day, or just drive around until he coincidentally came across them and decided to watch everything at a distance just waiting for that gotcha moment? Also, why was this the final straw? It's not like Nani was deliberately trying to drown Lilo or something. What was she supposed to do? Never take Lilo to the beach or stop her from ever going until she's of age just in case she drowns for whatever reason? How does that make any sense? Is there something I'm missing here? Other than that, there's actually not much fault I can find with this film as it was just that great. Overall, Lilo and Stitch, the original animated film, gets an A+. The characters are charming, the story is heartwarming, the soundtrack is pleasing to hear, the animation is amazing with great care and attention to detail put into bringing everything to life, the art style and designs were both beautiful and unique, the action was fun, and there was proper respect given to Hawaiian culture and history. It's a great film that might not be perfect due to some flaws, but has enough heart to outshine all of its blemishes. It's also more worth your time than its very ill-advised live-action counterpart. And if that's not enough to convince you, the fact that, even 23 years later, Lilo and Stitch still managed to stand the test of time should, because it must have done something right to be able to spawn an entire franchise encompassing 3 more films, a TV series, a bunch of video games, multiple appearances in Kingdom Hearts, and so much merchandise. So if you ever want a charming and emotional film about love and Ohana that's all tied together by one adorable ball of destruction and the girl who gave him a place where he can belong, Lilo and Stitch is a must-watch and must-rewatch film that everyone is sure to enjoy. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Reminder that this is just my opinion, so you can take it with as many grains of salt as you want. I don't mind either way, and would love to know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Please feel free to like, subscribe, and comment which film you'd like me to give my 2 cents about next. Just please don't suggest a live-action remake, because again, I'll only watch it once it's streaming, and I've had enough time to mentally prepare myself for it. Anyways, this is some random Neko going off to take a nap now. Don't forget to keep calm and just meow.